Information security consists of three main components, the first being data integrity, which entails the accuracy and the completeness of information throughout its life cycle. The second component is confidentiality, which refers to who's allowed to see what kinds of data and when. The last component is availability, which has to do how and when the data is accessed. A hacker can be hard to define. One aspect of a hacker is somebody who gains access to a system in a way that was not originally intended. It can also refer to an individual who has taken a system and bent it in a way that goes beyond what it was initially meant to be used for. Today, there are many different kinds of hackers. The one that most people are familiar with is a black hat hacker, a person who, by illegal means, gains access to a system that they are not authorized to be in. Another kind of hacker is a white hat hacker, a person who is usually hired by a company or a person who uses their time to find bugs and alert people of system vulnerabilities. They are often seen as good, but are despised by black hackers by revealing their means of entry into many systems. In between the two, there are gray hat hackers, which may often use illegal methods to break into machines. Often people who are engaged in cyber activism fall into this category, but not always. Not much information is currently known about the hackers who engaged in the target hack. What is known is that they were taking the information and exporting it to some systems in Russia. Whether these people were actually Russian or simply using the Russian country as an in-between for their final destination is unknown.
Question 3. What can organizations do to protect themselves from hackers looking to steal account data? Company hacker protections have an anti-hacker protection. Avast and McAfee are both free software that can also be upgraded to paid for at different levels of protection. Constantly updating software. This is a big one on your computers, having it automatically update so that the newest, latest security softwares can be updated and are legitimate. Having a computer password manager. Every computer now has the capability of having this manager where you can store both information, logins, and complicated passwords without having to remember every single password for different logins of information. Enabling two-factor identification. This usually means both an email and or a text message or some other type of identification. Hovering over a web link in an email to see if it's legit is actually a method recommended by white hat hackers to see that when you scroll on the link that's attached to an email, you can see if the website that they're sending you to is actually a legitimate website. Using an ad blocker like uBlock Origin on your browser, and also adding an extension on the browser for HTTPS everywhere. If it's capable of having a secure link to a website that doesn't have the S on the end for security. Question 4. In a team research the internet and find the best ways to protect yourself from identity theft. This was a icon that really cracked me up. So I included, hey, somebody stole the stolen identity I was stealing. So protecting yourself against identity theft has common themes as well as the same as a company. Freezing your credit report so that nobody is allowed to take things out in your name with your social security number. Shredding personal documents is a big one. Creating complex passwords, again, if you create that on your computer, whether at work or at home, you can have a password manager to take care of that for you. Using two-factor authentication again. Creating fraud alerts with your bank accounts that notifies you if there's an unusual purchase, and storing personal information in a safe, such as birth certificates, credit cards. It should be fireproof and able to withstand if something should go wrong.
In summary, the Target hack was actually initially started through an outside vendor, being an HVAC system. The HVAC company had access to certain parts of the Target network. From there, the hackers were able to infiltrate actual Target systems and install malware. The alert systems that Target had put in place were actually effective and did alert the Target staff of the vulnerability and the exportation of data to servers across the United States, then going to Russia. Despite this, the issue was that the internal team did not take any steps during this point that the alert system had been tripped. Target, while utilizing many of these tools, failed to actually act upon the exportation of the data. There's nothing that can truly be done unless actual personnel takes the time to stop the exportation of data or stop the vulnerability while it's occurring. Alert systems are just alert systems.